Welcome to Cogent Weekly's briefing on marketing and technology. Today is September 14th, 2021. Stay with us to see what stories made our top picks for this past week. If you're anything like me, you are pumped for the start of the NFL season. Personally, Sunday's performance by former Heisman Trophy winner Jalen Hurts has me so excited for the season. His performance was only topped by my fantasy quarterback, Pat Mahomes. But this isn't a sports briefing, so let's move on. The holiday shopping season will soon be upon us. For consumers wanting those high-demand products like the new Xbox or Sony PlayStation, they may want to start shopping now, given all the supply chain and shipping challenges to come. For marketers, do you know if and when your company will implement a code freeze? If you hope to implement new and better solutions, you may be up against the clock. If you can't implement new partners, do you know which ones drove incremental sales last year? There is some great tech at your disposal that can make this process a quick reality. Which is more important, media or creative? Well, both are. So make sure you focus on both if you want to stand out from the ensuing noise. If your focus is on e-commerce, what are you doing to create unique digital experiences this year? How are you going to serve the shopper based on their needs? And are you prepared to deal with the shipping challenges and how to communicate delivery timelines with customers? This is where media and e-commerce need to come together. Shipageddon is a funny word, isn't it? But what it means isn't funny for anyone. Adding to the challenge of supply chain and shipping costs and timelines that are wreaking havoc on brands, retailers, and consumers, shipping container costs have increased 122% in Q3 2020 to Q3 2021. Their transit time has increased 105% over the same time. U.S. companies will be spending $163 billion more on ocean freight during the second half of 2021. To make matters worse, since more consumers are shopping online, more packages need to be delivered and someone needs to pay for the excess. With 5 million packages per day expected during the peak season, the carriers will be increasing their fees on their biggest customers. So plan ahead and get set up with multiple carriers and advertise with media partners that will allow you to throttle your spend based on merchandise availability. Consumers will feel this in their wallets as sellers raise prices and discount less. Speaking of advertising, are you sure that your marketing dollars are leading to sales you wouldn't have gotten anyway? Do you have data scientists on your side that know how to conduct experiments properly? If you don't, you may be flying blind. With all the changes this past year with Apple, Google, and Facebook, access to user-level data and how it relates to sales is broken. Taking advantage of advertisers in need, many ad tech companies have simply pivoted their messaging and not evolved their products. And since brands don't have time to dig in, they just roll with it. This will come at a great expense. Many of these solutions will simply fail to measure the incremental contribution to your bottom line. You cannot simply compare audiences. You need science. You can no longer rely on your media partners to measure themselves. Most of them couldn't do it, even if they wanted to. You need an independent solution without any bias. There are different tests that you need to be considering. Geo experiments, scale testing, and unique experiments specifically for your needs because your consumers are always evolving. And speaking of evolving consumers, U.S. adults will consume about the same amount of media in 2021 as they did in 2020. However, their habits are shifting back to digital after a rise in traditional due to the pandemic. Digital video and audio will see increases while social will remain flat. These increases come at the expense of linear TV, primarily. From an advertising perspective, your incrementality data from last year can guide you on where you need to advertise at this holiday season. You should explore old channels that are new again because of the way they are consumed and purchased. This includes streaming audio, programmatic direct mail, and digital out of home. These channels are on the rise, and your competition is probably using them. And if they aren't, you can get a head start on them. Once again, media alone isn't enough. You need to think about creative and not just the messaging. You need to personalize and scale your creative through efficient workflows, not more headcount. Did you know that 90% of moderate to high consideration purchases are made in the home? As a marketer, don't you wish that you could be in the home with a shopper while they were making a purchase decision? With programmatic direct mail, this is now possible. Let's take, for example, Bonafide Health. They wanted to retarget consumers that were in the consideration phase and drive incremental sales. They worked with Pelopost data scientists to construct an incrementality test. By looking at actual conversions, they were able to measure a 57% lift in sales from the test group compared to the control group. This beat their CPA goal by 27%. So if you're interested in learning more about programmatic direct mail, but are unsure how to approach the channel, please let Cogent know and we will guide you through the process. Email is a channel that's making a comeback. And if you use it to connect with your customers on a personal level, it can help drive sales and loyalty. Tune into a webinar presented by Zambula on Thursday to learn how you can easily increase email engagement and, more importantly, sales. Have you been thinking about personalization and how you can improve your efforts across your marketing channels? If so, tune into a webinar on September 23rd presented by CoreSite Research. Of course, Advertising Week next month from October 18th to the 21st. It will be interesting to see how they pull this awesome event off in the face of the Delta surge. And just a recap of Cogent's mission. It is to democratize innovation for brands, retailers, and agencies. We understand that marketers and e-commerce leaders don't have the time to take dozens of meetings, but they do have challenges to solve for. We understand that you don't have the time to properly vet partners and negotiate trials. We understand that you don't have time to babysit new vendors. Cogent fills this void so you can compete with your competition, who might have the resources to do this for themselves. Cogent offers solutions to address many of the challenges presented in this briefing, so please contact us if you need assistance. If you aren't a member, let's chat. And lastly, I have an exciting announcement to make. In the coming weeks, we will launch a new feature for the Cogent Collective community. Cogent Roundtables will be groups of 8 to 10 members getting together via Zoom to meet their peers from across the industry, brainstorm solutions, learn from each other, and hopefully make new friends. So, if you have an idea for a topic or wish to participate, please let us know. Either way, you will be hearing more about this in the coming weeks. Please send me topics, questions, and comments to sean@bcogent.co, and I will get back to you straight away. Thank you for watching, and have a great rest of your week.